And we're back. Remember, you can find us online at WeSellRestaurants.com. Please take a moment and like us on Facebook at Facebook.com/WeSellRestaurants. We Sell Restaurant is your industry authority and source for information, and we are the restaurant brokers, Eric and Robin Gagnon. Today, we talked about the restaurant careers in the industry. The restaurant industry is expected to add about 1.3 million jobs over the next decade, with employment reaching 14.4 million people by 2023. That's a huge number, Robin.
And I want to get into that a little bit with our experts that are joining us today. First of all, this idea that we just surfaced during the break from Rick is about talent drain. Tell us a little bit about what that you were referring to when you said there is a talent drain, and how does it affect certain cities more than others, particularly those cities we would see as sort of the bright lights of this industry?
Well, talent drain is the term I used, and I didn't mean it in a negative way as much as in a reality way. First of all, the trend in America, clearly has been that more restaurants are opening than closing. I mean, I certainly know the Northeast better than the rest of the country, but take the Zagat Guide of New York City as an example, and every year the new edition comes out, and they said, well, of the restaurants we covered, 150 of them closed, but 350 opened. So, and it's that kind of ratio, year after year, and so.
I just want to interject there, Rick. That's what keeps us in business as restaurant brokers. There's always someone with a dream that they're going to have the winning combination.
Right, and so so many people want to own their own restaurant and be entrepreneurs. And what's happening is the guys and gals who used to be coming up the ranks for the Danny Myers and Daniel Boulud's and Tom Colicchios of the world, are still working there. They're happy. They're learning a lot, but they get to a certain point and they go off to the most popular borough these days, of course, is Brooklyn, and open a small bistro, do something with friends. It's great for them. It's great for the communities. It's leading to a lot of urban growth, but the bigger name chefs find that their talent leaves. So that's been going on a while. The newer part I was talking about on the break is that there, it seems to be some sort of trend that people are, while there's people moving into New York because it's a great restaurant city, and as Frank Sinatra said, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. Well, now because there is great food and great chef-driven concepts everywhere in America, we hear stories of people moving to Portland, Maine, and Louisville, and Wichita, and Wisconsin, and should I say Buckhead? Well, I didn't say Atlanta because Atlanta's always been a great food city, so it's nothing new. But people are finding great chefs they want to work for, and innovation and good lifestyles, working in restaurants all over the country. So that's the other source of the drain.
Well, you're right. We're working to actually help that process happen, Rick. I got to tell you. So on the other side, what you may not be seeing is as I mentioned earlier, a combination of somebody that's got a culinary degree, and then you put them together with Keller, Boulud, or one of the other culinary superstars in New York, then you've got a fabulous resume. And typically that person might be only a sous chef, or they've spent some time in lower level positions in the kitchen, not as the lead. But that person is super attractive to somebody that wants to get that kind of name, that kind of vibe, that kind of culinary expertise in their kitchen. And I'll tell you, I've got job orders right now from people in Atlanta. These are big name restaurateurs that would like to see executive chefs coming from New York or San Francisco or wine country, and some people that have had experience with some of these groups. And they'll take a chance on that. So it really does work that way. And it's a great find, and it's a great opportunity for the chef that'll take the chance.
Now, Steve, let me ask you about that, because a lot of people don't understand how a recruiter works in the industry. So if you're listening to the program today and you've got that great resume and you've done your trip into the bright lights of New York and you're back and you're looking for a job, what's the downside and what's the plus side to using a recruiter to find a position?
Well, first off, understand a recruiter is our client, is the organization that pays us to go out and find the talent that they require. So a recruiter is not generally like your sports agent or your person that's dedicated to going and finding you a job. So first understand the perspective of the recruiter, that the recruiter is looking for somebody with the skills, the abilities, the background, the culinary degree, whatever the requirements are of the employer that's hiring the person. So now that said, it's a great deal to use a recruiter in a lot of ways and reasons, is because we get the inside on jobs that aren't available or aren't advertised elsewhere. Often a restaurant owner may come to us and say, we're thinking about opening a second restaurant. We're lining up our investors. We're about 90% sure we need to start sourcing for some talent, but I can't let word get out yet that we're doing the opening. Or they might say, we've got a general manager in this one location that's just not performing the way that we'd like them to perform. We need to bring somebody else in. Can you help us identify the right person? So we get these kind of unannounced, I don't want to say top secret because that's not the case, but we get jobs that aren't advertised. They're not going to be on Craigslist. They're not going to be elsewhere. So talking to a recruiter can really give you a greater insight into the opportunities that are available that you might be interested in.
The more you hear about the restaurant business, I think that's absolutely true, really in every measure. The same thing happens to us as restaurant brokers, because we have landlords whisper in our ear, this guy's not doing well, so find me the right person to plug in. The space never comes on the market. It's never available in a retail sense, but the connections in this industry really do run very, very deep, and everyone knows someone who knows who's connected and can really get the job done for them. So that's intriguing. And it's a small world even in New York City. Would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. And part of it is an interesting thing about this field for those who aren't in it, is that it, particularly in the beginnings of your career, it's not, it's acceptable to move jobs frequently. Having, 3 jobs and 3 different employers in 4 years isn't necessarily a bad thing, particularly if you leave on good terms. Well, you have to leave on good terms. But when you think about that, the amount of connections that are made and sort of the networking really reinforces this idea that it's a small world and everybody knows somebody somewhere. And, that creates a lot of opportunity and a lot of dynamics that you don't find in other fields.
Okay, so you just heard it live on our show. This is We Sell Restaurants, Eric and Robin Gagnon, where our name says it all. We do sell restaurants, hundreds over the past 12 years and throughout the country. Stay tuned after the break. We're going to go into restaurant reality, or visit us online at WeSellRestaurants.com.